Hello, everybody. This is Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. Part 5, Chapter 26. No, Kapitanovich, said Seroja as he came in, rosy and gay after his walk on the evening before his birthday, while the old Swiss, smiling down from his superior height, helped the young man off with his coat. Did the bandaged chinovnik come in today? Did Papa see him? Yes. The secretary had only just got here when I announced him, replied the Swiss, winking one eye gaily. Seroja, Seroja, called the Slavophile tutor, who was standing by the door that led to the inner rooms. Take off your coat yourself. But Seroja, though he heard his tutor's weak voice, paid no heed. Standing by the Swiss, he held him by the belt and gazed at him with all his eyes. And did Papa do what he wanted? The Swiss nodded. This chinovnik, with his head in a bandage, who came 7 times to ask some favor of Alexey Alexandrovitch, interested Seroja and the Swiss. Seroja had met him one day in the vestibule and listened, as he begged the Swiss to let him be admitted, saying that nothing was left for him and his children but to die. Since that time the lad had felt great concern for the poor man. Say, did he seem very glad? Asked Seroja. Glad as he could be. He went off almost leaping. Is anything come? Asked Seroja after a moment's silence. Yes, Sudar, said the Swiss, lifting his head. There's something from the Countess. Seroja understood it was a birthday present from the Countess. What did you say? Where? Cornet took it to Papa. It must be something beautiful. How big? As big as this? Smaller, but beautiful. A little book? No, it's something. Run away, run away. Vasily Lukitch is calling you, said the Swiss, hearing the tutor's steps approach and gently removing the little gloved hand which held his belt. In a little bit of a moment, Vasily Lukitch, said Seroja, with an amiable and gracious smile to whose influence even the stern tutor submitted. Seroja was in radiant spirits and wanted to tell his friend, the Swiss, about a piece of good fortune which the Countess, Lydia Ivanovna's niece, had told him while they were walking in the summer garden, had befallen the family. His happiness seemed greater still since he heard about the chinovnik's success in his present. It seemed to Seroja that everyone ought to be happy this beautiful day. Do you know Papa's received the Alexander Nevsky Order? Why shouldn't I know? He's been receiving congratulations. Is he glad? How could he help being glad of the Emperor's favor? Is it a proof that he deserves it? Asked the old Swiss gravely. Seroja reflected as he looked into the Swiss's face, which he knew even to the least detail, but especially the chin, between his gray side whiskers. No one had seen his chin except Seroja, who looked up at it from below. No, and your daughter? Isn't it a long time since she's been to see us? The Swiss's daughter was a ballet dancer. How could she find time to come on work days? He exclaimed. They have their lessons as well as yours, Sudar. When Seroja reached his room, instead of attending to his tasks, he poured out into the tutor's ears all the surmises about the present which had been brought him. It must be a locomotive engine. What do you think about it? He asked. But Vasily Lukitch was thinking of nothing except the grammar lesson, which had to be ready for the professor, who came at 2 o'clock. Tell me just one thing, Vasily Lukitch, asked the child, who was now sitting at the desk with his book in his hands. What is there higher than the Alexander Nevsky? You know that Papa is decorated. The tutor said that the Order of Vladimir was higher. And above that? Oh, St. Andrew above them all. And above that? I don't know. Why don't you know? Asked Seroja, leaning his head on his hand, beginning to think. The child's thoughts were varied. He imagined that his father perhaps was going to have the orders of Vladimir and St. Andrew, and that, therefore, he would be more indulgent for his day's lessons. Then he said to himself that when he grew up, he would do his best to deserve all the decorations, even those that would be given higher than that of St. Andrew. A new order would scarcely have time to be founded before he would make himself worthy of it. These thoughts made the time pass so quick that it was the hour to recite. He didn't know his lesson at all, and the professor seemed not only vexed, but pained. Seroja was rueful. His lesson, though he studied it, had not made any impression on his mind. When the professor was present, it was well, for by listening he imagined that he understood. But when he was by himself, everything was mixed and confused. He seized a moment when his teacher was looking up for some reference to ask him, "Mikhail Ivanovich, when's your birthday?" You would do better to think about your work. Birthdays have no importance for a reasonable being. It's only a day just like any other, and must be spent in work. Serozha looked attentively at his teacher, studied his sparse beard, his eyeglasses far down on his nose, and got into such a deep brown study that he heard nothing of the rest of the lesson. He was wondering if his teacher believed what he said. By the tone in which he said it, he felt that it was incredible. But why do they all try to say to me the most tiresome things and the most useless things, and all in the same way? Why does this man keep me from him and not love me? He asked himself, and he couldn't tell.